Well, Sam, you know what day it is? That's right, it's Halloween. Let's go raise some fucking hell. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 31 Days of Horror. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yes, 31 Days of Horror Volume 8, Day 31, coming at you live and direct. Alrighty, that is right, it is Halloween, and that means it's time to do a Halloween film. It's the 31st, right? Alright, so, Charz to everybody out there. We made it through the spooky season once again. So much fun. I love doing the 31 Days of Horror. So yeah, so Charz up here. We got some Crow's Hollow pumpkin ale for the time. The only time I ever drink this stuff. It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so you can probably see by the title or even the menu what film I'm doing here. It's from 2022, released by Scream Team Releasing. And of course it is called 10/31 Part 3. That's right, I've done the first two parts in previous years of the 31 Days of Horror. I can't remember. I think I did Part 2 the last time I did it, which was 2 years ago. So probably last Volume 7, I want to say. There actually is a Part 4. I learned that when I was at Cinema Wasteland and met the guys from Scream Team Releasing. And they had Part 4 sitting on the table. They hadn't even put it on the website yet. So I do actually have that. So maybe next year we're doing Part 4. Why not, right? All right. As you guys probably noticed, if you're an avid follower of the channel, I am not rocking my old school Halloween shirt. This is the first time in 8 volumes that I've actually rocked a different Halloween themed shirt for the Day 31 review. Had to do the Sam. I love me some Sam. We had a little moment before this review started, so. But anyways, let's get into the premise of 10/31 Part 3. If you're familiar with the first two parts, they are anthology films. So yeah, so basically this one, it starts, I think like Part 2 also. I can't remember if the first one starts out with fake trailers. I think it does, but definitely Part 2 does. Same thing around here. It starts out with about 5 fake trailers, which, you know, kind of varied all Halloween themes, kind of fake trailers and stories and stuff like that, which are all pretty fun. Runs about like 8-9 minutes or something like that. The whole runtime on this is about 85 minutes. So it gets into it, and then it starts off with our host of Malvolia. She was from the previous ones, and she kind of introduces that, you know, we're going to be watching some short films and stuff like that. So the first short is called House of the Mummy, and it is directed by Michael Balfe, who did the Witching season, which I actually have a poster framed in my house. And this one basically is about this guy that's having, like, he's having marital issues, he's getting a divorce and stuff like that, and he wants to venture out and do, you know, his own thing. You know, he wants to kind of make a haunt in his house. And he simply names it the House of Horrors, and she's, like, ripping on him for it and shit like that, and he's like, whatever. So he goes out into the town, and he comes across this this Halloween store, and this guy's got this sign that says, "Everything must go." And he walks in there, and he sees this huge, like, life-size mummy. And he's like, dude, I need to buy that. And the guy doesn't want to sell it to him at first, but then he gives in and he sells it to him and stuff like that. And yeah, it's actually not exactly what he anticipated the mummy was going to be. It was like this plug-in standee that says some things, but there's more to the mummy. This was really cool. This is actually the longest short in the anthology. It ran, I want to say, close to 30 minutes, which was really crazy considering the times vary quite a bit on these. The first one's the longest, the last one's the shortest and stuff, but this was really fun, dude. It had good effects. Like, I really like the look of the Mummy, and I'm a huge fan and advocate for them making more mummy-related horror films. I love the, you know, the Hammer mummy film, the Universal monster one, and it's one subgenre I feel like is very overlooked in horror, is making mummy films for some odd reason. We get one periodically here and there. There is some good ones throughout time, but you just don't see a lot of mummy-related films. I like the Paul Naschy one, Revenge of the Mummy. That one's really fun. But yeah, this is really good. I thought it was good. For a short that ran close to 30 minutes, I thought it did a really good job. Good gore. It's shot really well. Of course, the music is really great in this. The music's all done by Rocky Gray, who did, you know, the music for like all 3 of the 10/31 films, The Barn 1 and 2. He did Close Calls, which is a film I really liked from a bunch of years ago. So yeah, the music throughout the whole anthology is fantastic. But yeah, this one was really good. It's probably my favorite of the 4 shorts that are in this. Number 2 is called The Locksmith, and it was directed by Jacob Perry. Can't remember how to pronounce his name, but he did Spine Chiller, which I did review, I think, a couple years back, maybe on, I think I did that for day 31. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I just did it randomly in the 31. It's basically about this realtor that is, it's been showing off these houses and stuff like that. It actually opens up with a killing that's pretty fucking awesome, man. And it's basically this dude that gets stabbed in the head with a door handle. And I'm like, it's the locksmith. There's a whole backstory to like why he's like this and stuff. And it's basically just your kind of run-of-the-mill kind of slasher film and stuff like that. So, yeah, that one's pretty cool. It runs a few, I want to say it's probably about the average time in it and stuff like that. It's pretty good. Got some nasty little kills and stuff like that. So anyways, getting into the 3rd story, that is called Old Man Gross, and it's directed by Brad Twigg, who actually directed Crackoon, which my homegirl Carly stars in that film. And apparently it's doing like really, really well. I know it was in like Redbox and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's actually pretty cool, man. That film was doing pretty well. So big ups on that. So yeah, so this one right here is about a bunch of like kind of late teen, early 20 people. Anyways, they're like out trick-or-treating, doing some shit or whatever. Anyways, there's this like huge kind of story with this house and this guy that lives in here, and he's like a really creepy dude and shit like that. But they decide they want to go fuck with him, and of course things don't turn out as planned. And yeah, so that one actually turns out to be pretty cool. It's got some pretty decent gore in it. Actually, it's got one really nasty gore scene in it. I thought was pretty crazy. But overall, I really liked the mask that was used on Old Man Gross in this. I thought it was pretty cool. I wasn't really big on the editing in this one for some odd reason. Just the way it was kind of going back and forth with the editing, it wasn't really my favorite. But the overall product was actually pretty good. But yeah, that one was, you know, pretty decently short. And of course, the last one is called Hack in the Box, and it's directed by Zane Hirschberger, who directed Force of Fear. And if you guys listen to podcasts, I actually just told a story about him. So I was at Cinema Wasteland, and my day 4 review on this 31 Days of Horror was Force to Fear. And I guess he had checked out the review, and I was at the Diabolic table talking and stuff like that. And he heard my voice, and he actually recognized me. And he's like, yeah, did you just review the movie and stuff? And then I introduced who I was and stuff. And he's like, oh shit, man, you're the guy that did all the 8 films to die for back in the day. And I'm like, yeah. It was kind of weird because I had a couple of different people come up to me, and those were like 10 years old at least. But yeah, so we got talking about the film. I got introduced to Sable Gretel, who stars in Force to Fear and stuff like that. She was there signing autographs and stuff like that. So she's really cool. But basically, this short read here is Hack in the Box, and it's about these 4 girls. Sable Gretel's in the film also. And they are basically trying to like kibosh this demon and stuff like that in this Jack in the Box, and it doesn't go as planned. It turns into Hack in the Box, you know, kind of thing. Good gore. This is definitely by far the shortest short in the whole anthology, which, you know, is kind of a shame because I really like the idea of you know, the whole demonic Jack in the Box thing, and I thought the actual Jack in the Box looked pretty fucking cool in this. Looked pretty neat. Yeah, just too bad it wasn't a little bit longer. I just wanted a little bit more from that one, but it was really good overall. So, again, you know, if you've watched any of these 1031 films, they are basically a collection of shorts. There is no wraparound. There is a host, but there is no full-on wraparound to this, which I wish they would start doing wraparound stories to these, because I'm a huge fan of like tying in, you know, a wraparound and, you know, making everything kind of cohesive. But with that said, it's not your average typical anthology film that, you know, is done by different directors and doesn't have the same feel. There's a lot of anthology films out there that they kind of piece together from random directors, and they have no cohesiveness, and like they just don't look the same, they don't feel the same. But everyone here involved with these films more or less has a background with Scream Team Releasing, and of course they're all kind of bound together by Rocky Gray's scores that are all in all the shorts and stuff. So it has that same kind of look to them for the most part, and it has the same sound and feel to them. So overall, the cohesiveness of the anthology is actually pretty cool. I really enjoyed this one. I can't quite remember how much I liked the second one, but I thought this one was pretty good, man. I mean, all the shorts were good. I think House of the Mummy is probably my favorite, it being the longest. I really liked Hack in the Box, but I just wanted a little bit more from that one. The Locksmith has such a cool idea. It instantly reminded me of like The Carpenter. Like, you know, as a director, as a writer, like you're coming up with these pretty interesting ideas to come up with new, like you're always trying to come up with an interesting, fresh idea for a slasher by name too. Like The Carpenter always seemed really cool, man, but why not The Locksmith, right? That's awesome. So that's pretty cool. And of course, Old Man Gross, like, man, the gore scene in that film, I keep thinking about it. It's like, it's ridiculous. Like, dude takes it like a grinder, man, and I'll just leave it at that, but it's pretty cool. Again, all the effects in these are all practical and stuff, which is really cool. It's indie filmmaking, it's low budget stuff, but again, if you watch the first couple, you know what you're getting yourself into. I think it's a lot of fun, man. I'm going to give this one probably about an 8 out of 10. Actually, really enjoyed this. I'd heard from a lot of people that they didn't really like this one for some odd reason. I have no idea why, but yeah, it's unfortunate, but I know it does have its fans out there, and I'm really looking forward to doing, or like at least watching part 4. I'll probably end up doing it next year for 10/30 for Halloween night. So, but yeah, 10/31 part 3, good time. Definitely check it out. I don't have the slipcover for this one because I purchased this a long time ago, and they actually did have all 4 of them with the slipcovers and stuff, but whatever, it is what it is. I think that artwork's pretty damn cool on it. So, but anyways, that's going to conclude 1031, the 31 Days of Horror, Volume 8. I'll try to be back next year for Volume 9. I mean, life sometimes gets in the way and shit like that. I am planning on doing Cinema Wasteland again, so I'm going to have to pre-record the first few if we end up going to Cinema Wasteland again, because it takes place right at the beginning of October. But yeah, I mean, you know, I had a lot of fun with this year. I mean, obviously, the algorithm is just killing smaller channels like mine, and just don't get the views anymore. Like, my most viewed video on this 31 days was probably about 150 views less than the average of last time. Like, it's just crazy. So the views are like not even, they're cut way in half. But you know what? It's not really about that. It's just, I really do want people to watch these videos so they can check out, you know, some of the films that I recommend and stuff like that. So, but if you liked what I did here, you know, drop a comment down. Thank you for all the support from all the people that commented on every single video. I know Hector out there, he commented on everything. I'm sure he'll be liking this shirt too. It seems to be a very popular comment with a lot of people. He got a dope shirt collection. I am more concerned about what people think of the movies, if they've seen them and what they thought of the reviews and stuff. That really helps me out. It motivates me to do more. But the hate comments are good too. I really like those too. It's fun. Yeah, you know, overall, I mean, I had a blast. Another good year. So I'll most likely be back with Volume 9 next year. And it looks like my man, JP Double Shot J, might actually get through his entire 31 days this year. Might be the second time in like 13 years he's been doing it. It's crazy. So go wish him luck on that one. But anyways, guys, Charz, have a good Halloween night, and I'll see you next year. And as usual,